Welcome to Christian Statesman. I'm your host, Zach Wagner, and this is episode 127. Are you part of the problem or a solution? The operative question I must ask myself whenever I meet a new person in a social setting, a new student, a new business contact, or any other acquaintance is simply this. Are you part of the problem or part of the solution? As we continue to progress down a road of unprecedented historical occurrences, this becomes the most important question I might consider. And it is not coincidental that those who have a desire to be part of the solution are somehow connecting, finding each other, and having those important conversations with one another. I went to purchase a new appliance the other day. I ended up in a big box retailer simply because they were the only location that sold what I was looking for. The gentleman that assisted me was a kind-looking, obviously Christian man, likely in his late 60s, early 70s. As I was finishing the transaction, I noted I was buying the appliance because I was not sure how available those particular units would be in the future. "Are you expecting economic problems?" he quietly inquired. When I said yes, that sparked a half-an-hour conversation over the issues now confronting us. This man was informed and awake. It was obvious he was preparing himself and his loved ones for conditions that may develop in the near future. He had stored food, water, and durable goods for several years. I had met another kindred spirit. We spoke a common language and were able to strengthen each other in our quest for a solution. And this illustrates how one is part of the problem or part of the solution. There is only one type of person that is part of the solution to what we are facing. Those are the people who are awake and aware of the dangers growing around us and are taking steps personally and within their communities to mitigate such problems. There are those who will defend liberty, law, and Christian values kinetically as necessary. Unfortunately, these type of individuals are still relatively rare. I am always pleased when I make a new friend in this way. There are, however, two types of individuals that are part of the problem. The first type of individual is the person who profits from the deceptions of the failing system and knows that they are doing it. This can be corporate, political, or other entities that seek to have a winning seat at the table once the Great Reset is brought into being. They do not care about the insidious principles involved, but are determined to be on the winning end of things once the smoke clears. These people are endorsing evil ways, and they often know it. Fortunately, these individuals are also fairly rare. It is a small minority of our population that are truly this far gone. The other type of individuals that are perpetuating the problem are those that are asleep and are happy to participate and contribute to a system that is quietly building their future prison. Catherine Austin Fitts used a phrase called coming clean within the parameters of a corrupt system. This involves awakening to who the problematic players are, what their agenda is, and refusing to support any business, philosophy, or endeavor that strengthens their position. Fitts uses the example of banking at a large national bank and realizing that her business with that institution was funding their contribution to a global feudal system via the Great Reset. She withdrew her substantial sums and did business with a local community bank that had no such ties to darker agendas. This mass of sleeping citizens, sometimes described as the sheep, are unfortunately quite numerous. It is difficult to convince anyone that the few evildoers who now have their hands on nearly every level of power are using that power slowly and stealthily against them. I have been asked on many occasions if I was paranoid. No, I reply, just informed. It is the unfortunate reality that those who slumber are also part of the problem. They lash out at the awakened, accusing them of being fearmongers and conspiracy theorists. Meanwhile, their own overseers are lighting the house on fire, determined to burn it down with them in it. It is the old wolves, sheep, and sheepdogs analogy. If the sheep only woke up and turned themselves into sheepdogs, any problem with wolves would be over. Again, this backs us up against the wall of faith. We must have faith that the small numbers of awakened and aware citizens grows into legions. Our corrupt governors do not fear us, seeing that the great majority are cowed and sedated into accepting any leadership edicts as representative. But as the numbers of awakened grow and fear is put into those profiting from the current corruption, real change will begin. Here's to recruiting a whole new group of sheepdogs. I hope we can all be part of the solution. Thank you for being with us today. Please subscribe, and as always, have a blessed day.